Hello, hello, everyone. We are live from Salt Lake City. We are physically in Salt Lake City. I'm so excited.
Mountains.
Right there.
Everywhere, actually.
And then we have the Vivint Center where the Utah Jazz play, where they're actually going to be playing a game tonight against the Cavs.
That was last night.
No, it's actually tonight.
Oh, we're not going.
Anyway, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP Chats. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Those of you that are live on Instagram, I did go back in to check, and is that a mic? Yeah, it is a mic. Do I tap it? Do I have to tap the little mic?
I have no idea.
Anyways, if you're on Instagram, if you can just give me a wave so I know you guys could hear us. If you don't hear us, you need to, at the bottom of the page, there's a mute button. Oh, you could hear us. Awesome. Hello.
Awesome.
Okay, good. So, again, if you're on Instagram and you cannot hear, just go ahead and click the mute button at the bottom of your screen, but it looks like we are okay. How is everyone on Facebook tonight? As you know, Chris and I are on vacation. And, of course, we still had to make sure we do this. And, yeah, we're excited to be here. We're very relaxed.
Yeah. She was driving earlier, which put me in the passenger seat. And I was just kind of staring into nowhere, like everywhere into nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember the last time I felt that relaxed. I was literally doing nothing. It was incredible. So, we're glad you're here, although this is our vacation edition of Wednesday night OWCP Chats. We do love doing this. Tomorrow night, we're going to be, where are we going to be tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we are going to have our meet and greet live in Salt Lake City at Red Rock Brewery.
Red Rock Brewery. In
the Salt Lake location. I think there's 3 or 4 locations, but we're in the Salt Lake location. From 6:30 to about 9. They wrap up they close at 9, so we'll be done. So
we'll probably be done by 8:30.
That are local, that you said that you are coming, we're super excited. We had a handful of RSVPs. People are still RSVPing, and we can't wait to meet all of you guys. Hello everyone on Instagram. All right, tonight's topic, we are covering 2 major topics, and we're going to go as long as we need to on this topic. How to file your COVID claims. Can you file your COVID claims? Yes, you can,
yeah.
Number 1. And those of you that had COVID from last year, coming into this year, can you file? Can you get your money back? All of that we're going to cover. We're also going to cover the top 10 things that Eric emailed to me to discuss with you guys on third-party accidents.
Like car wrecks, slip and falls, dog bites, anything that is the fault of a third party or just somebody else. All right.
And before we forget, don't forget to share. This is a very important topic. I mean, I can't imagine how many of you, they shared that COVID topic and everything that I posted. So please go ahead and share real quick. And,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
And yeah, live from Salt Lake City.
It's like Saturday Night Live. Live from Salt Lake. It's Wednesday Night Chats. Yeah, these are really important topics. COVID, I think, is obvious why that's important. I saw today that somebody in the government, I forget who it was, one of the medical experts said that at some point everybody's going to get it. I mean, 100% of us are going to get it. All right, well, let's say that's true. What are you going to do about it as federal employees? We're getting all the time, just every day, somebody saying, the supervisor said that it was too late, that I can't file my COVID claim, or they won't do their part. So we're going to clean this up. Unfortunately, there's probably not very many supervisors, if any, watching this, so you're going to have to pass the information on. But let's start by telling you, you have an absolute right to file your COVID claims. And the government is essentially removing all arguments as to whether or not you contracted COVID at work. They're just going to assume that because you interact with the public, you contracted it while at work. They're not even going to argue about it. And for those of you that had prior claims denied, the claims examiners are supposed to go back and re-review those claims. So if you're one of those people, I would definitely call the claims examiner and say, hey, this bulletin was put out. It says you're going to re-review my claim. Have you done that, or will you do it? What else do you need? And then they should. The thing says that anybody that's previously denied will be reconsidered, like automatically. So check into that. If you're one of those people, you're going to have to take responsibility for that and make sure your claims examiner does the right job. As for the importance of the third-party injuries, I read a stat that something like 26,000 postal employees get into car wrecks every year.
Yep.
That's a lot of car wrecks on the job. Not to mention, slipping on the ice. I mean, look, this time of year that happens. We were driving through a neighborhood here with steps all the way up to the sidewalk that leads to the house. And there happened to be a carrier, and she was walking around. And Gini mentioned, like, look, this is how people fall down. Well, that's a third-party injury. Because the homeowner, if they don't take the right precautions to clean the ice up off their sidewalk, they can be responsible for, you getting hurt. Car wrecks are obvious. Dog bites. The number one thing is you've got to be able to find the owner of the dog. And then the homeowner's insurance has got to have coverage for that. But if it's if somebody's dog bites you, it's a third-party injury. And on the CA1 form, it asks, like right in the middle of the first page, is this a third-party claim? So if it is, say yes. So today or tonight, we're going to talk about what you need to do to get those COVID claims approved. And after this, it should be really easy in your minds. Like, you should not have any stress about it. They're going to get approved. And then I'm going to give you some hot information that, like, some of this I hadn't thought of, some of it I had. But Eric sent us 10 points for you to be aware of if you experience a third-party injury. Yep. So I'm going to go over Eric's 10 points. It's an interesting take because it's not mine, so I like it. And then we're gonna talk COVID, but I think we're going to start with COVID. Normally, I tell you, I show you my books. I don't have them here. So anybody that wants Breaking OWCP, you just go to breakingowcp.com for the books. They're $8.97 a piece when you buy them together. Shipping is free. But as you can see, I'm not home, and I'm the guy who packages, ships it, labels it, signs it, and everything. So my buddy Andy, who makes my website for me, has got a notice on there that I'm out until the 23rd. So if you place an order for the books, just please be patient with me, as I'm not there to ship it to you. But as soon as I get back, I'll ship it the very next morning.
Yeah, we're actually gonna go over the third party, the 10 points that Eric gave us, only because we're so early into the chat. And those of you that are trying to still hop on and still share, to tell your friends. So
you want me to start with that?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about third-party claims. And just so you guys know, when you have a third-party injury or schedule award issue or Social Security disability issue or OPM disability issues, please message me on the Wednesday night chats page. I go through it, I ask you a bunch of questions, and then I'll push it on over to Eric just so I could eliminate what he doesn't take and make sure that we're still helping you. So you can just message me. Please put your phone number so I don't have to ask you, and what city and state you're in, and then tell me a brief description of what your third-party claims are. In the meantime, while Chris is reading that, I'm going to still share.
All right, so she's sharing. I hope you'll do it too. If it takes you away from the page, don't worry. Just come on back. We're still going to be here. You won't miss much. I'll talk slow.
And hold your questions a little bit. We'll come back to you guys for sure.
All right, so third-party accidents. The Department of Labor asked on a CA1 form, because these are CA1 forms, or these are CA1 injuries when you get hurt in a third-party accident, like car wrecks. Like I said, letter carriers get into 26,000 car wrecks a year. It may be more than that, okay, but that's a big, big number. And so what most people do wrong is they go to the personal injury lawyer that that their friends use, or they might have used in the past, or that they've heard is really good, which is funny. Like, someone's like, there's one particular lawyer that says they're the biggest lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay, look, that can mean a lot of things, and it could be good or bad. But people kind of fall for that stuff. So the first thing is, don't fall for it. You don't need a local PI lawyer. You need a federal lawyer who knows PI. That's number one. If you don't do that, you're going to have problems, because the government is going to send you a letter basically saying, you need to pursue the third party. But then there's all kinds of rules. Like, for example, PI lawyers don't know that they have to get permission from OWCP to settle your claim.
Correct.
They can't just settle it. They have to get permission to settle it. That's just one law that like blew my mind. I had no idea that was even a thing until Eric told me. So get a lawyer that knows what they're doing in OWCP. Now, that's not Eric's number one thing, but it's my number one thing. Because I'm in healthcare. I've worked with doctors my entire adult life. And I've done a lot of personal injury over that time. I mean, like, you wouldn't even believe how many people I've helped with auto injuries, like an insane number. And I can tell you that the choice of lawyer is a big deal, and it's a huge deal in this, so be sure you choose a good federal lawyer first. But his number one thing is to get a competent, experienced doctor. Imagine that. Okay, so I happen to agree with that as well, because as you know, if you follow us, that I say that the number one reason claims get denied is bad doctor's reports.
Yep.
And so when your doctors don't know what they're doing, your claim is going to be hell. And a tangled mess that you just don't, you don't need that, and you can avoid it by choosing a good doctor. This is normally where I would say if you want to know where Federal Injury Center's offices are located, I'd point to our sign at the top, but we don't have that sign. So go to federalinjurycenters.com. There's a locations tab. You can find all the Federal Injury Center's offices there, and there are more coming. There are some that are not listed there now that will be soon because they're almost done with their training. So there's going to be a lot more listed coming up. So get a doctor that knows what they're doing. The wrong doctor will always get your claim denied, period. Number two, make sure on your CA1 you list anything and everything that you injured. Okay, so let's say you had this car wreck and your neck and your shoulder and your knee are hurt, but your knee's hurting really bad, and so that's all you list. Well, that's a problem, okay, because you need to be able to list everything that's wrong with you. This is a CA1 claim, meaning you can have a lot of injuries that all happen at one time. You've got to list them all. That's really important. Even if you think it's not a big deal, list it, because you don't know how you're going to feel later. And there's been a huge number of people over the years that have told me they got hurt or got in an accident today, didn't even start feeling anything until 2 or 3 days later. So list everything. Just list it all. It's in your best interest. Eric's number 3 is find an experienced attorney that can handle both the third party and the federal. Of course, I say that's number 1, but he put it number 3. Number 4, get a proper diagnosis from your doctor. One of the things doctors do, not ours, okay, but one of the things a lot of doctors do is they just say it's a sprain, because a sprain is easy. Anybody can get a sprain approved. I probably, without being a doctor, could get a sprain approved. But it's not in your best interest to get the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. That's not in your interest. Your interest is to get the correct diagnosis, the proper diagnosis. And Eric says, don't let your medical provider only treat you for some of your injuries and ignore the others. Get them all treated. Get better now, okay? One thing that's not on Eric's list, I'm going to add, is get a CA16, because this is a CA1 claim, and you have a right to get help without paying it out of your own pocket. So as a CA1 claim, if you report today, which you will, report now, not as soon as possible like the CA10 says. Report now. That's the soonest possible time. Get a CA16. That way all your medical bills will be covered for the first 60 days. And hopefully by the end of the 60 days, you're better anyways. And just in case your claim doesn't get approved, at least you were able to get medical care for that period of time. So get a CA16. Eric says his 5th thing is try to preserve any evidence as soon as possible, like getting pictures and witness statements and so forth. If you can get video, that'd be great. If there's cameras around, there's cameras everywhere, Getting video of what happened, that'd be awesome. It'll help you win your case when you pursue the third party, as you're required to do by law. And then this is a good one, actually. Never admit liability to anyone. Do not agree to an interview by an insurance company.
Don't ever do that, guys.
So she can tell you, she used to work for one of those really big PI lawyers in Florida. And so she learned a lot about how this works. And, the lawyers advocate for you, not for, the opposition. And so don't give statements to insurance companies. I'll give you another one that's not on the list. Don't accept settlement offers from insurance companies. So often they call you and they say, look, we'll give you $5,000 just to end this thing right now. Don't do it, okay? You're going to really hurt yourself. And remember, the law says that your lawyer's got to get permission to settle this thing anyway, so don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
When they call you and try to offer you money, don't do it, all right? There's a lot more coming anyways.
If you receive a check from them and you sign it and
Don't
cash
sign
it,
Tear it
you're
up.
pretty much screwed. So you either have an option to just hold it
Actually, give it to your lawyer.
and give it to the attorney. He can contact the insurance company about it, but don't ever sign it and deposit it because your case will be settled
It's
and
over.
done, and you can't go back and fight for anything.
Yeah, when you cash that check, that's them. You are agreeing to end the case, and you don't want to do that.
And another thing too, when you guys, if you can when you do get in an accident, take pictures if you can, or have somebody take pictures of your vehicle, the other person's vehicle, their license plate, and their driver's license and insurance. Take a picture, record it all, so you can give it to the insurance company. And if you happen to come to where you are involved in a hit and run, the attorney will find out from the police department if there's any surrounding cameras, because now everybody's got cameras on their businesses,
I just said all
especially on the main road.
Look, I literally just said all of that.
I know, but I have to reiterate it. I'm sorry. I'm just
She's not paying
sharing.
attention
I'm
to
not
me.
paying attention.
She's in the show, but she's not really
Yeah,
in the show.
I'm here, but not here.
All right. Next thing. Don't return to work if ordered by your supervisor unless you have a limited duty job offer that is reviewed in advance by your doctor and lawyer. Your supervisors are going to try to bully you and pressure you to come back. We want you to go to work, okay? The surest way to get paid is to clock in. I want you to be on the clock so you don't have to jump through hoops to get paid. But make sure that your job offer matches your restrictions from your doctor. So definitely review this with your doctor and your lawyer, okay? That's going to be really important, because if you go back at a higher level than what your doctor thinks you can, that's a problem on a few levels, so don't do that. Not to mention you could get hurt. Number 8, he says, attend any and all physical therapy appointments and follow the medical restrictions of your physician. And this one's really, really important. Do not let postal inspectors, if you're a postal employee, see you exceeding your medical restrictions, or you could find yourself under criminal indictment.
They do follow you. Insurance companies do follow you. And it doesn't matter where you're at, because the attorney I worked for, we had a PI, that private investigator, he would follow the other party. So be careful.
Yeah, so whatever your doctor's restrictions are, you need to keep those restrictions throughout your day, not just at work. That's going to be really important. Under criminal indictment, that's serious, so don't do that to yourself. Understand, number 9, that nothing moves quickly. And people get so frustrated with this because I'm impatient. Like, nobody's more impatient than me. I am the most impatient human being that I know. So this would be hard for me, but nothing moves quickly. Without an experienced representative, meaning lawyer, it could literally be months without pay. So get assistance sooner rather than later to ensure that you get paid regularly after any incident. A regular personal injury attorney who does not handle OWCP cases will have no clue on how to get you ongoing pay. So that's a really good one. Be patient, but also be fast. Don't wait. A lot of people say, I'm just going to see what happens. Get it done right away because your pay is at stake. And number 10, if you're a postal worker and you're one of those 26,000 people a year that gets into car wrecks on the job, Eric's got a really good piece of advice for you. He says, carry as much, all uppercase letters as much uninsured motorist and underinsured motorist coverage that you can on your personal auto insurance. It's cheap and makes a world of difference even if you're driving a postal vehicle. So your settlements can go up if you have those things, okay? Uninsured and underinsured motorist on your personal vehicle. So he says carry that too. So those are 10 things that he said, plus a couple that I added in, which was get a CA16, and I'm sure there was something else I said there. You weren't listening though, were you? Okay, great. So that's everything on auto injury cases or personal injury cases that are that happen on the job, third-party injuries. It sounds like some of you are going, well, that was kind of boring. Well, sure, but it's not boring. It's not boring when you get your 20% plus settlement. It's not boring when your case is approved, and it's not boring when, as a result of your case being approved, your supervisor is powerless and cannot bully you. And these things are happening at a fast pace. 26,000 cases a year is huge. So we want you to protect yourself. So do these things. Go back and re-listen to these. I'll probably go ahead and condense these 10 points, add my 1 or 2, and post a list here on Facebook so you'll have the list. And then, print the list out and keep it with you. Do what it takes so you can protect yourself if you're hurt in a third-party accident. What questions do we have?
I don't know.
Well, let's see.
All right, I'm going to have to pause from sharing.
Yeah, we'll share later. You all share too. Don't forget to hit the share button. And by the way, if you're here watching, please follow this page. Hit the follow button before you leave. We really appreciate that. I like to let all the doctors know because remember, we have a franchise where our job is to expand and put offices in areas closer to you so that you have a hard or don't have such a hard time finding doctors, right? And so when I'm able to go to prospective doctors and say, look, we have 10,000 followers and 600,000 views a year, then to them they say, oh, okay, so I could actually get patients in this. I could be successful doing this. So please hit the follow button. It's really important. A lot of moving parts here, but one of them is you just clicking follow.
Yep. All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
No, we don't have any doctors in New Jersey as yet. We are working on that slowly.
Manhattan is the closest place other than Philadelphia, right outside of Philly.
Becky Dollar said, hi guys, my orthopedic
What's up?
doc looked at my MRI and said my accident didn't cause further damage. My knees are really bad from years of obesity plus jumping in and out of my LLV, so I can't work because of the pain. I'm not getting COP. My next paycheck will be for 2.
Did you already file a claim? It sounds like you have a CA2 issue, which wouldn't make you eligible for COP. I'm a little fuzzy there.
Oh, hold on. She said, will be for 2 days instead of 2 weeks. I feel like my doctor isn't seeing the forest for the trees. He's seeing my obesity, the total cause of my pain. But I've worked on these bad knees for the past 22 years. Is there anything I could do?
Yeah.
The obvious would be a CA2, but I'll be in the poorhouse before that gets approved.
Well, okay, not necessarily. First of all, where are you located? Some of these claims get approved pretty fast. I saw one a couple of months ago that got approved in like 2 weeks. I saw one that got denied in 2 weeks too. The point is, I think these claims examiners have figured out a way to speed it up. So don't think that. You've got a real condition that's never going to get help if you don't file your CA2. So get that done, and then find a doctor who will write a narrative report that will emphasize that regardless of your pre-existing conditions, which, obesity is a pre-existing condition. That's the way it goes. If something is worsened due to the job, it's covered. And so you need to find a doctor who understands that and can write that narrative. I mean, we've got 50 some odd offices that could do that right now. See at federalinjurycenters.com at the locations tab and see if there's an office close to you.
Then this is really important. What Rich Ray, he's an NALC branch president out in Staten Island. He said, very important to put in your claim for COVID. Not one of us, even the experts, have a clue on what the long-term effects can be.
That's right. Nobody knows.
Cover yourself and your family. NALC local branches are helping all carriers, including the NBA offices. Please, guys.
Yeah, and
file your COVID claims.
And do what Rich is telling you. One of the conversation, and I'm not going to go into detail on private conversations, but Rich and I have had some talks, and we realize that one of the biggest reasons, especially New York, that claims aren't approved is just apathy. Some people are not willing to do the work. I'm telling you, do the work, especially on these COVID claims. Do the work. Rich is totally right. We have no idea what the long-term effects of this thing is. I had COVID. How many months ago did I have COVID?
Like 2.
Oh, no. It
was 3.
Yeah, I think I got over it like 3 months ago. And still, everything smells like sewage. Like, everything. And it's annoying, okay? But what if it was something worse? Like, I don't think anybody ever knew when COVID started that later on I was going to smell sewage, okay? But I looked up on the internet, and this is a thing that happens to a lot of people. What are the other long-term side effects of this? We don't know. File that claim. And at least so you can be paid for your time off. It's a CA1 claim. We're going to get into it. But
yeah. Hold your COVID questions just so we can finish all these third-party questions real quick.
All right, so I have some third-party questions.
Matt Hayes said, what's up, guys? I just had my third-party claim overturned in the ECAB appeal back in OWCP's lap. They are sending me to one of their doctors for a second opinion on my injuries after being rear-ended. Eric says, I still need a diagnosis that will get my back pay. OWCP doctor has to determine what injuries are from the injury and which pre-existing conditions are other injuries. What should I do after I go to their doctor?
Go right back to your doctor and let them know what happened. Your doctor's going to have to write a better report to help you get paid. I mean, for sure. Eric's right about that. If you're off work for a period of time and your diagnosis is a sprain, okay, they're not going to pay you for all that time off work because they're going to assume you should have gone back. So make sure you've got good diagnoses. The highest level, meaning the worst, actually, diagnosis being approved on your case.
Tom said, if you have a COVID CA1 online and provide your immediate supervisor's email, what happens if it sits in their emails if he chooses not to open it? Name someone else to accept.
Okay, so they're required by law to submit this within 10 days of you giving notice. So let them know that, the clock is ticking, and you're probably going to have your union help you file a grievance because that's a problem. You may even need to call OSHA, 1-800-321-OSHA, and let them know that, you're trying to get a claim filed and your supervisor is sitting on it, which means I can't get help. When you can't get help with an injury or some condition, that could be a potential safety issue at work.
Lisa Gallo said, if you file a CA1 for COVID and your supervisor is using your annual, can you get your annual back?
Yeah, it's called leave buyback. You'll fill out a CA7 with a CA7B, maybe a 7A. It depends on when you're out of work. But yeah, leave buyback form is form CA7B. You can get all forms at federalinjurycenters.com on the OWCP forms tab. We have everything there for you.
Renee Marie said, how does a personal insurance help when driving a federal vehicle? I thought it only worked for approved vehicles on your policy or those rented in your name.
I know, that's what I thought, but Eric said I was wrong. So when your personal vehicle is covered, like let's say that I'm in a friend's car and the friend gets in a wreck, I can use my own personal injury protection and my friend's PIP as well. So yeah, you can use your own personal auto insurance if you're injured at work in a mail vehicle.
Because if you get uninsured motorist, it covers you. So what happens is you go after your own insurance company. Let's just say if it was a hit and run or the other person doesn't have insurance, which that happens all the freaking time, especially in Florida.
It does happen.
No one
a lot.
has insurance and everybody's just driving, and the other person is assuming the person that hit them has insurance to help them, and 80% of the time they don't.
Yeah.
So they just
and you're paying for this coverage, whether you use it or not. You're paying for it. So Eric suggests that you have it and use it if you need it.
All right, Kelly Petiti, they approved my claim for COVID, but are saying that the headaches, brain fog, shortness of breath are all separate conditions that are not approved. So what exactly is covered for COVID, and is the post-COVID syndrome separate from COVID?
Okay, so imagine, this is the best way to describe this. Imagine I have a knee injury, and over time my knee injury prevents me from walking. Would a claims examiner say, well, you have a knee injury, but we're not going to approve any issues about you not being able to walk? Of course. My inability to walk is because of my knee injury. In that case, my doctor would need to write a narrative explaining that, hey, there's a knee injury and Chris can't walk. So you're going to need your doctor to write a narrative report explaining why these issues you're having are a direct result of COVID, which was a work-related condition.
Lottie Dottie. Oh my gosh,
I freaking love that name.
Lottie Dottie. We like to party. Yeah, okay.
Well, I love the name.
Yeah. I'm singing the song from the 90s. Can I get my sick leave back from being forced to use it during COVID leave?
Yeah, it's another leave buyback, CA7B. But listen, if you're on COVID leave, it's a CA1 claim. If you report it within 30 days, you're eligible for COP. So just understand, it's a CA1 claim. It works like a CA1 claim, which means you can have a CA16. You can get COP. So remember that. It's a CA1 claim. Report it immediately, and you have access to all the benefits you would if you stepped out of your vehicle and twisted your knee. It's the same thing.
See, even Rich knew what I was talking and singing the song. Amarelli Falcon, yes, today does seem about COVID. We are covering, those of you that are just hopping on, we are covering COVID claims, and Chris just covered third-party issues, or the 10 points that Eric wanted us to discuss. And again, if you have a third-party claim, just message me on the Wednesday night chats with your phone number and where you're located, and just a brief description of what's going on, so I could see if it is a third-party claim, and do I need to get you to Eric, or do I send you somewhere else?
And Kate Key asked if we have a Chicago office. We have one in downtown Chicago, and we have a second one that just came on board in the last month or so that's north of Chicago. So yeah, we've got 2 offices in that area.
Leonard Hauser, my third-party case, whoa, where'd it go? My third party case happened since 2016. It's still open. I have federal comp lawyer and personal injury lawyer. I'm a postal employee whose truck was hit while I was parked and scanning parcels. I've went through physical therapy and had my impairment rating from a federal comp doctor about 6 weeks ago, but I haven't heard anything yet. Is it really that slow?
Yeah, it's that slow. It's maddeningly slow. I mean, for sure. Like, I'm actually frustrated for you, but you can call your claims examiner and, ask if there's something else they need.
Yes, we do have locations in Georgia. You got to check our website. Go to federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and it is there. Thank you. Love you all. We love you too.
Wanda Jackson asked, where did you say to get forms? Go to federalinjurycenters.com. It's centers with an S on the end. Federalinjurycenters.com. And there's an OWCP forms tab at the very top of the page.
Okay. Kimberly Strickland. These are good questions. What if you retained a PIP lawyer first and have a federal attorney on retainer, partial settlement with PIP? What do I do? And what if you said no on a CA1 to third-party settlement error? Repercussions, reprocessing. Was told CA17 needed for $24.99 to be issued in the correct order.
Okay, so if you, in error, said it wasn't a third-party claim, just call your claims examiner and clean it up. It's not that big a deal. They're not going to be mad at you because when you tell them it's a third-party claim, it's going to trigger your ability to pursue the third party, which means OWCP is going to get paid back. They're not going to be mad at you for that. They're going to be very grateful that you go tell them that.
Yeah. Donna McCracken says, I'm an NALC steward. I'm really trying to encourage all my carriers to fill out these CA1s.
Yeah.
Are there any references or literature that I can post to use a part of my personal quest to help these carriers? Donna,
breakingowcp.com. Go check it out.
Yeah, either that or if you go back on our Wednesday night chats, I posted all the things that Chris is going to go over in a few minutes. You may want to just go and it says how to file your COVID claims and it's listed. And this was taken directly from the United States Post Office site. It was forwarded to me. So you guys know that. When
they took theirs from Department of Labor. I've read all of this. So this is good stuff. What else on third party? And I'll go ahead and talk about COVID now.
Good evening from Alabama.
Dr. Cooper's on here. Everyone say hi to Dr. Cooper. He's in Forest Park, Georgia, which is basically Atlanta. He says you can see the airport from his office. And he's also in Phoenix City, Alabama, which is on the border of Columbus, Georgia.
Kimberly Strickland said second injury was denied. OWCP found FIC, Phoenix City. Shout out.
That's Dr. Cooper.
Waiting on an extension to open case as first injury and bad doctor led to this injury.
Always.
3 new CA-17s later, no light duty provided with 4th CA-17 put me no work, and USPS work comp lady is raising sand with me. What do I do?
Wait, say again? Okay, what do I do? Whatever Dr. Cooper tells you to do. Believe me. He knows his stuff. Just follow his directions. You'll get through it. He'll help you through it. Believe me, everything's going to be fine there.
Yes, we have doctors in Chicago. Kate, the address? You'd have to go on our website. We don't have all 50 of our franchises listed.
Memorized?
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, but not that good. All right, I'm going to talk about these COVID claims.
Hold on. Would postal employees who telework or who test positive be able to find OWCP claims for COVID?
All right, so postal employees who telework and test positive for COVID, can they file a claim? Okay, the answer is yes, you can always file a claim. But you're going to have to be able to prove that you got this in the performance of duty. When you're working like you normally would, you don't have to prove that. They just kind of assume that you're interacting with the public. So you'll have to write a statement explaining how it happened, but yes, it can be approved.
Go ahead.
All right. So everyone wants to know more about COVID and third-party claims. That's fine. We're going to do more third-party talk in future episodes of this because it was shocking to me to find that 26,000 postal employees get into car wrecks every year on the job. So that's a big thing that's going on, and I'm going to make sure that when that happens to you, you don't get screwed over, which means I'm going to keep talking about it. But for tonight, let's talk about COVID some more. So, number one, what they want you to do is file your CA1 claim using eComp. So the first thing you got to do is go to ecomp.dol.gov. Ecomp, ecomp.dol.gov. Could you post that? Could you write a comment right there and write ecomp.dol.gov? Ecomp.dol.gov. And you have to create an account, which not that big a deal. It's easy. You create accounts everywhere, right? So just go create an account. And then from there, you can file your CA1 claim using eComp. You can also upload documentation using eComp. The cool thing that I've read about on this, and I haven't been through this. I was actually thinking today, it would be so cool if somebody went on and filed an eComp claim for COVID and did screenshots on every screen. I'd love to see what it says. See, I can't do it. I can't make an account. I'm not a federal employee, and I can't file a CA1 on eComp for COVID. But you can. So if this is you, I'd love it. Oh no, you did that totally wrong. It's not E-comp.
Okay, so I just remove it. It's okay.
They're going to try to put E-comp. It's eComp, no hyphen. Ecomp.dol.gov. But I'd love it if somebody could go screenshot all the questions, because what it said is that it's not asking certain questions like, was this in performance of duty, or was it due to willful misconduct, right? They're not asking the supervisor those questions that they ask on other CA1 claims. So I'd be very interested in what that looks like. And if anybody wants to do it and send me the picture, send it to chris@federalinjurycenters.com, Federal Injury Centers with an S.com. I'd be very, very grateful and very interested to see what that looks like. But you go on eComp and you fill out, you answer the questions. And then you're going to need to attach documentation. And this is where I said you can upload documentation. You need to show that you had a positive COVID test. No big deal. It cannot be a home test. It says here, no home and no rapid tests are going to be used as proof. So any other test that's positive can be used. You can also have a positive antigen test, meaning you're over COVID, but you can show that you had it. Okay, that will do. But here's the great thing. You can also not get tested, not have a positive antigen test, and have a doctor who writes a narrative that says that all of your symptoms are COVID symptoms, and then it can still be approved. So what they're basically saying is like, look, just try a little bit. If you just try a little bit, we're going to approve this thing. So get a COVID test, get an antigen test, or get a doctor who will write a narrative explaining how everything that you went through was COVID, and they're going to approve it. It also says that they're going to go back and review those cases that were previously denied. So the government is going out of their way to approve your COVID claims. If you're somebody whose previous COVID claim was denied, call your claims examiner and say, hey, when are you going to re-review my claim? What else do you need from me? And let them give you the roadmap to winning this thing. It looks like, from everything I've read, is that they want all of these to be approved. That's great. I want them all to be approved too. So go to ecomp.dol.gov, fill out a CA1. And I would also tell your supervisor, hey, there's a CA1 waiting for you, for you to fill your part out. And, don't assume that they know. In fact, I would assume that supervisors have no earthly idea what to do. So you're going to have to tell them what to do. You're going to have to say, hey, go to eComp and fill out your portion. It's not even that much. They're not asked all the same questions that they're asking on other CA1 claims. So I'm looking at this thing that Gini found from a USPS website.
Oh, it was sent to me.
It was sent to her. And the other thing I'll tell you is get a CA16. That's another thing. It's a CA1 claim, which means you have a right to a CA16 to pay your medical bills for the first 60 days. That's going to be really important because you're going to need treatment, right? That's going to need to happen. I pray to God you don't go to the hospital, but if you do, your CA16 will cover that too. And then elect COP because you have a right to time off, and they're going to pay you for your time off, so take COP. Your claim's going to get approved. You will never have to pay that COP back because they will approve it. So that's pretty much it. I don't like going through all the ridiculous details on this.
No, but they need to know.
No, I did it. I got it all. So have a positive test, an antigen test, or a nice narrative from a doctor explaining that you had COVID, and these were the all the symptoms. And anyways, doctors know what to write, but the doctor has to be able to write that you had a COVID, that you experienced COVID, even if you didn't have a positive test. So what questions are we getting on those now? You're still sharing. This woman is sharing like crazy. I hope you're all sharing a little bit.
All right, questions. I don't have any questions. Why?
Nobody's asking any questions? What the heck?
Are you still replying to messages? Yes.
So
Sure.
they're replying to. She's going to reply to messages. She was sharing while I was talking. So,
Okay.
And we have other people that are on here that work with us, and they're going to answer your questions too.
Isaac Floyd, how are you doing, Mr. Floyd? In Chicago, are you freezing
Hi there.
out there?
He's got to be.
He said the guidelines for providing documentation for COVID are in OWCP Bulletin 2021.
That's right. That's where I originally saw
I
this.
don't know what's going on with this.
Are you losing messages?
Yeah. Kimberly said DOL is sending me to one of their doctors for a second opinion before they will approve my surgery.
Yeah, that's pretty common. I mean, surgeries are expensive, so don't be surprised. But the good news is, if a condition is surgical, it just is. And most doctors are not going to put their malpractice on the line by saying something's not surgical when it is. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Miss Bella said there is a question on the form where they ask for names of people who have COVID at the job, but those names are private. Management does not share names.
Yeah, so you can guess. You can say, this person had, was coughing and sneezing and looked feverish. You can make a guess. They're going to accept the claim, so I would go ahead and just do the best you can there. That sounds like a crazy answer. I can't even believe I said it that way, but from everything I read, it just looks like they're going to accept everything.
Kiki Conway said, what if you're having long-term COVID issues?
So anything that is a result of an accepted condition is covered. So you'll be able to get treatment for anything that happens as soon as your COVID claim is approved. You'll just need a doctor to write letters of medical necessity explaining why you need this treatment.
Sorry, guys. This computer is not finding our Wednesday night chats is gone.
That's right there.
No, it's not.
There's Wednesday night chats.
Our video. I hate this.
It's okay. Just refresh the page. Like, just click right here. Refresh it.
Nothing is
Yeah,
happening.
if you hit the shift key, that won't work. But if you hit the enter key there, it'll refresh. There you go. Technical difficulties, folks. We're on vacation, so bear with us. Don't click anything. Oh, you know what? Click
Here
the...
it is.
Found it? All right, we're back. We're back in business, folks. Click on those comments there. Well, let's go.
Nico Tuscany said, so COP pay on COVID first 3 days. Is it the same after 3 days you start getting paid for 45 days?
It's a standard CA1 claim. I mean, it's not standard because it's COVID and they're not asking all the same questions, but it's a CA1 claim, so it's going to act the same.
Kiki Conaway said, I've been out since the 20th. I'm actually 9 months pregnant.
Well, congratulations on that. And but if you have an accepted claim, you should have been paid for your time off.
Michelle Damo said, do I need a federal work comp attorney if I have a PI attorney for a dog bite case? What is the difference and why would I need both?
So you don't need both. You need a federal attorney more than you need anything else. But if your federal attorney doesn't know personal injury, you'll need two. Okay? Like Eric knows both. That's why we like to use Eric for these types of cases. But you got to have a federal lawyer because the PI lawyers don't know anything about OWCP. And this is an OWCP claim. That's why. I mean, you got to treat it like what it is.
All right. Is there a limit on how long you can be out, or is it just the same as a work injury?
It's the same. Exactly right. You know, if you've got complications that are keeping you from your job, you can be paid on a CA7 when your COP runs out.
Can we file a claim if we're back to work and had a positive test in December?
Absolutely yes.
Dawn, oh, how sweet. We appreciate your time and help while you guys are on vacation. Thanks.
We love doing this.
Yes. Donna McCracken said, supervisor providing CA7 right off the bat or right after carrier filed a CA1 and are COVID positive at the time of filling out a CA1. Do they need to be COP? The CA7 isn't necessary until the 45 days the COP has exhausted. Has this changed?
No, it's not changed. In fact, that CA7 is good. I mean, you can keep track of your time off. But when you have COP, you don't need a CA7. You need a CA7 once your I'm talking myself into a twist. You need a CA7 once your claim is approved. So COP is good for 45 days. 45 days or until your claim is approved. So once your claim is approved, and like I'm saying, these are going to get approved, you're going to need a CA7. COP is automatically done when the claim gets approved. So you'll have to start documenting on a CA7. So I think it's great that your supervisor gave it to you. Believe me, most supervisors give you nothing. So take the CA7, and once your COP is over, start documenting time from that point.
Kimberly said, can DOL take away my pay and demand me to return to work without my doctor's approval? That's what they're trying to do to me.
No, look, your doctor is in charge. Department of Labor is run by a bunch of people who aren't doctors. They can't overrule your doctor. So if they want you to go back to work, it's likely you've got a diagnosis is not correct. Like I said earlier, if you have a sprain or a strain, they're going to say you should have been back to work already. So make sure your doctor's got the highest level valid diagnosis as an approved diagnosis on your claim. But no, the doctor makes the decisions using a CA17.
Yep. All right, Tanya, how are you?
What's up, Tanya?
She said, do I file an expansion for my hip while I'm still waiting for DOL's reconsideration?
You can't file an expansion if you don't have a claim accepted already. I don't recall what your accepted conditions are. But once your claim is accepted for anything, then you can do an expansion for anything after that.
Kate Key said, when your claim was denied because established performance of duty, how do you get past this at this point?
Well, your doctor's going to have to put in their narrative, and this is what we do. We've got a section that's called special sections from the CA1 or special comments from the CA1. So we make sure the doctors are reading the CA1 and they see performance of duty issues. The famous one that I like to bring up is that someone was not in performance of duty because they twisted their knee in the parking lot before they clocked in. Well, that's what the supervisor said, because the supervisor didn't know the rule, which was that is performance of duty because you're on the work site at a reasonable time before your shift starts. So your doctor will have to refute that in their narrative report. And I recommend putting a paragraph with a title that says performance of duty and then address that in the narrative report. 100% of the time, 100% of the time that I've seen supervisors write bad comments on the CA1, we've been able to overturn it by doing what I just said.
Alyssa said, I filed a CA1 claim for COP. My 3 days of contact and illnesses were last day at work on 12/29 with symptoms 12/31. My COP should start 1/2/22, not holiday, correct? My supervisor is trying to start my COP on 1/5.
No, that's correct. Yeah, 100% right.
So, you didn't answer her question.
Does it start on?
Supervisor's
Does
trying
it start
to
on 1/2?
No.
My COP should start 1/2/22. Correct. Correct.
Okay. Angela Hutchins says, that's great. I'm so glad. I know I'm in this mess and repeated a lot of things, but I'm glad you're... Oh, sorry. She was talking to somebody else. Kiki said, definitely will be contacting you about my previous claim.
Good. We'll be glad to help.
Thank you all for the information. We really appreciate it. Oh, you're welcome. Sarah said, filled out a CA1 form and Ecom says I'm eligible to fill out CA7. Is this necessary?
Well, it's necessary if your claim's approved and you want to be paid for time off. Absolutely, yes.
You guys, just because you get a file number from DOL, that doesn't mean your claim is approved. You have to wait to get an acceptance letter from DOL.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of people are saying, you filed your claim, and when I message you and ask, well, was your case accepted? You're saying, I don't know. or I don't think so. You cannot file your CA7s to get your time and money back if it's not accepted.
Correct.
Lori Walter says, my supervisor has charged me SL and AL even though specified COP on the 3971.
Have your union help you with that. That's a problem.
Becky said, one more. If you have time, they've already received my CA1 and are asking for documentation. My orthopedic isn't being helpful. Should I go ahead and fill out a CA2 now before they either approve or disapprove the CA1?
Only if it's a separate issue. Like, if you have a separate claim, go ahead. You can file a CA1 and CA2 at the same time. It doesn't matter. You can have two different things going on at one time. So you can do that, but you're not going to... I'm just making sure I cover everything. You won't change a CA1 to a CA2 when a CA1 is in progress. I'm not sure that's what you were saying, but just in case, I'm going to tell you that as well.
Kimberly, yes, Unity Wellness in McKinney is one of our franchises.
That's right, and they're opening up in Bedford, Texas as well. In fact, they opened up yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Or the day before.
On Monday.
Yeah, they're open already.
Miss Hill says, it's so hard to contact my supervisor. I left messages with the general clerk and union, also nurse about positive status. I still haven't heard anything. File the CA1 now to contact her about that too. So
if you file your CA1 on eComp like you're required to do for COVID, then you can just let your supervisor know they have to go there and do it. But they should get a notice. But I'm making an assumption that they get a notice. I don't actually know because, again, I've never done eComp myself. I'm not a federal employee, but you guys should check that out and let me know. So that's one of the things I love about this, is that this is like crowdsourcing. You know, we're getting information from so many people. So if you learn something new, come here and let us know. Because what you learn is going to help other people too. And there's no other forum like this out there. So this is a place that you go to share this kind of information. So please do.
Michelle said, my post office just recently paid me for my COP from being out on November 5th. They only paid me until November 29th because they said, according to my 11/29 doctor's note, I was able to return to work full duty. However, my next doctor follow-up, my status went back to light duty. Can I still get more COP?
Your COP runs out in 45 days no matter what. So if your claim's not accepted, you'll have to do a CA7. If you're still within your 45 days, then yeah, you are still eligible for your COP. That's the law.
Kimberly said, so what happens if my doctor and DOL second opinion is different?
Well, they're definitely going to be different. You go back to your doctor, have your doctor write a narrative report explaining why you're in the situation you're in, what your prognosis is going to be, and what they're going to do about it. The second opinion doctor is always going to be, okay, I shouldn't say always, I don't like absolutes, but most of the time they're going to give you an answer that you're not going to like. But your treating doctor knows more about you than the second opinion doctor, so be sure your treating doctor weighs in.
Dr. Archuleo from Chicago is on. He said, shout out from Steve in Chicago.
He's in downtown Chicago.
Shannon says, I've been out since last Friday with COVID symptoms. I'm out sick and annual leave, so not getting paid while I'm home. Got tested on Sunday and still no results. So no results yet. I can't start to file, right? No,
that's incorrect. Go ahead and get your doctor that you saw to write a little report. I mean, it can be half a paragraph, whatever. Explaining all your symptoms and how, in his medical opinion, you have COVID, even though there's no COVID positive test. And then you can turn that in.
Isaac Floyd said, we are now seeing claims being filed for reactions to COVID-related vaccines. There is a new bulletin on OWCP for filing these claims.
Isaac said that?
Yeah.
Isaac, what's a bulletin number? I want to go look that up. Thanks for that info. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, look, Isaac comes on and gives us information that I didn't have. We're able to really put this stuff together. And anyways, I'm feeling really happy about that, like in a weird way.
Kiki Conway said, having a hard time getting injury upgrades and any advice. I have supporting MRIs. Kiki, go ahead and message us on the Wednesday Night Chats Messenger and put your phone number. One of the girls will call you back tomorrow.
That's something we can definitely help you with. We deal with that every day.
Yeah. Lori Walter says, how can we contact you to ask you a few questions prior to completing the CA7s?
877-787-OWCP. And Isaac said 2102. I'll check that out. Thanks, Isaac. I really appreciate the info.
Arlene McDuffie said, once you put in your information on eComp, you get a notice that your supervisor will be sent an email, and the supervisor needs to respond to that email.
Thank you. I didn't know that. That's awesome news. So what she said is you're going to fill out your portion on e-comp, and the supervisor is getting an email. If they ignore their email, they're in violation of the Code of Federal Regulations that says they have 10 days to send this to DOL. So you'll have a grievance if they don't do it. Be sure you file a grievance.
Lisa Gallo said, can my supervisor change my annual leave to COP before it goes into payroll?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen before payroll. After payroll, they'll have to fix some things.
Penny said, how long after a surgeon recommends surgery do they have to approve the surgery?
Well, when a doctor's office requests pre-authorization, they usually get response within 72 hours. Now, the only way surgery is going to be approved is if your diagnosis is surgical. Like I always say, a strain and a sprain is not surgical. So if you don't have a surgical condition, they will never approve it. That's important to know. You'll need a diagnosis expansion to add the diagnosis that is surgical.
Judy, you said, is there a certain site to ask general questions and give you information? Right here, after you get off of the live video, you just go to the messenger, type in your question. Nobody else will see that, like no other people on
just
Facebook.
Our team.
Just our team, and there's just 4 of the girls and myself or Chris, so it's private at all times.
Yeah.
Kimberly said, if had COVID twice and wasn't paid second time with positive test, will CA1 assist for retro pay? USPS says we only are authorized 80-hour payout, but the MOU 09901, I believe is the number, September 2020, and signed again in March 2021 says additional paid hours for CCAs.
You will be paid for your time off if you have COVID and your time off is COVID related. You'll be paid. You got to fill out your CA7 forms and attach proper documentation explaining why you needed to be off. A disability narrative from your doctor explaining why you needed to be off due to COVID will go a long way towards getting you paid.
Donna McCracken said CA7B is for buyback, correct?
Correct. CA7B. And like every form, you can find that at federalinjurycenters.com.
Monica Hutchins said, I had COVID the week before Christmas. Is it too late to file for work comp? It is not late, guys, to file any of your COVID claims. Remember that.
All right, look. It's a CA1 claim. COVID claims are CA1 claims. And the Code of Federal Regulations and the United States Code both say that you have 3 years from the date of injury to file a CA1 claim. 3 years from the date you knew it was work-related to file a CA2, incidentally. But these are CA1 claims. You have 3 years to file this claim. So, get it done. Don't forgo filing. Make it happen.
Renee Marie said, if you are waiting for DOL to update your diagnosis and get CA7s approved, do you need a lawyer to help stop bill collectors and foreclosures?
I mean, you might, but... you might. I don't like that answer very much, but you might.
Oh my God, Tanya said, try not to die from old age, waiting for reconsideration. Keep having fun and carry on.
Woman, you are far from old age. What is she even talking about? You are not an old woman. You're not going to die from old age anytime soon. Believe me.
All right, guys, so we discussed at the beginning of the video the top 10 points that Eric wanted you guys to know for third-party accidents.
Which were basically get a good lawyer, get a good doctor, take pictures of everything, document the whole thing, and don't answer questions from the insurance company. Don't take any settlement offers. Get a CA16, get a CA17 also, by the way. And follow your doctor's advice and your lawyer's advice.
Nay Dior said, I wasn't able to put my supervisor's email when I filed on eComp website because I didn't have one. Will someone be able to still view it? Since we don't know all of that. Oh, Rich just answered the...
Just put their name in there.
Yep. Is that a federal lawyer because dealing with OWCP or just any lawyer?
Don't use just any lawyer. Use Eric Blowers. Look, I actually know other federal lawyers, and they're good, and I like them. But we have a relationship with Eric. You all have a relationship with Eric. and he has a 100% success rate and 100% positive ratings. So, we're not dumb. We like to use people who everyone loves. Everyone loves Eric, so call Eric.
Jacqueline Williams said, what do you do if the supervisor is not accepting your 3971?
File a grievance. Like, they don't have a right not to accept it. That's just ridiculous. File a grievance.
She Jam said, Eric who?
Blowers.
It's Eric. He's federal attorney Eric Blowers.
Somebody post his information if you can.
I already pinned it.
Okay, good.
If you guys need any third-party help, once we're done with the Wednesday night chats, please go into Messenger and message me. Just say to Gini, put your phone number, what city and state you're in, and also a small description of your third-party accident so I could review it and then get it off to Eric to make sure that it's something that he's going to take, considering I work with Eric. Yeah. And Nay Dior said, this is the answer I was looking for. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome.
Well, no, you didn't give it. It was actually Rich.
Oh. Well, thanks, Rich. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone here has an opportunity to help everyone. I appreciate, Rich, that you're here. Thank you so much.
Judy, if you message me, send me your number, and I will have Eric contact you guys. Michelle said, going back to my comment with COP, it is past 45 days. Am I still able to claim the remaining days since they had only paid me from the 5th through the 29th? File the CA7 as well from after the 45th day. How do I know it's accepted?
You'll get a letter in the mail showing it's accepted. So, yeah, and I think on eComp you can look it up too, but they'll send you a letter when it's approved, but when 45 days is up, it's up. You got to use the CA7.
Rich is laughing. Guys, remember, you cannot file your CA7s with DOL until your claims are accepted. And this goes for any CA1 or any CA2, and even considering your COVID claim is a CA1. So please wait till you actually get a letter from OWCP saying your claim has been accepted.
That's right.
Because having a file number is not having your claim accepted. Okay?
All right, let's answer the rest of the questions, but we've already hit an hour. I want to answer all the questions, and then
we got them all.
We got them all?
Yeah. We got them all, and I still haven't finished sharing. I'll have to share after. So tonight we went over the 10 points Eric wanted you guys to know about third-party claims and to contact me for all the third-party claims. And we went over all the major points for COVID claims. You can still file. Whoever's telling you can't file, you can still file. File. Wait till your claim gets accepted before you file your CA7s.
Brian said CA1 for COVID is getting denied. Why? You'll have to look at the denial letter from your claims examiner to find out why. So they're going to send you a letter in the mail explaining it was denied. Get the exact reason. Your doctor can write a narrative explaining why that's incorrect and get it overturned. It's probably something simple, but it should get approved.
Yeah. And if you guys have any more private messages, just go ahead and message us on Wednesday night chats. The girls will be answering them. Also, again, for third-party claims, just say to Jeannie. This is for Jeannie, so they know, because if I'm not checking it, they'll send me a text. But yeah, that was our topics tonight. Don't forget to share. And if you guys want to see the post that I did on all the steps for COVID, it's still in there. I will go ahead and repost it after this. Please remember, you can file your COVID claims. Don't let anyone else tell you you can't. And
a special thanks to Rich Ray for helping out tonight, for Arlene McDuffie, for Renee Marie, who's always on there helping out.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you being here helping us. It's a really nice thing to have everyone here kind of working together to help each other. So thank you all very much.
Oh, Emma, you're from Bakersfield, California. Hello.
Hey.
All right, so that you guys know, tomorrow night, we will be here in Salt Lake for all of our Utah federal folks. We have quite a few people that are coming out. We're really excited to meet new faces and new people. And on Friday, we are going to be sitting down talking to a doctor to see maybe if this is a good fit for him, so we could have a franchise here. Because I'm dying to have one here.
And he's got a couple of locations that may work out. So, we're on vacation, but we're always trying to find new ways to help you. And, that's what we're all about.
So don't forget, tomorrow night at between 6 and 9 o'clock at Red Rock Brewery in the Salt Lake location.
Please come out and see us.
6:30 to 9. Come out, bring your coworkers, bring your paperwork so we could review them.
And in case you don't remember what she looks like, we'll be wearing our tour shirts, our Federal Injury Center's tour shirts.
Yeah.
Look, I know you'll remember her. You won't remember me, but you'll see the Federal Injury Center's logo on it, and you could tap me on the shoulder and ask if I'm that other guy. It's me.
Yes, we do have a location in Miami.
Yeah.
That is with Dr. Giuliani. Go on I was going to point up. Go to www.federalinjurycenters.com and click locations.
Yep.
Lori, yes, you are absolutely correct. Make sure you upload all documentation with your CA1, COVID test results, doctor's notes. They will approve case if they will not approve a case if they don't have this. She is absolutely
You got to
right.
have documentation. That's right. So a positive COVID test, a positive antigen or antibody test, or a narrative from your doctor explaining that you had COVID, even though you weren't tested, all your symptoms were COVID, they're going to approve it.
Rich Ray says, Chris, I still have over 100 carriers still delivering mail without 50 routes still waiting to be set up. We are really hurting here right now. We should have more people here, but Staten Island, everyone is still out.
I know, Rich. You guys hang in there. Rich's Staten Island group has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
They've been really great about reaching out for help, and I appreciate that. I hope we're able to get the help. And I was talking to Dr. Shockey and Bart, and they still have plans to expand throughout New York to help you guys in other places. And Staten Island is number one on my radar. Believe me, Rich.
Kat, he said, can I file a schedule award without an impairment rating?
Negative. Got to have an impairment rating by the 6th edition to get a schedule award.
Yeah.
For those of you that want to know a lot more about schedule awards, go check out my books at breakingowcp.com. The second book, I wrote a great chapter on schedule awards on how to calculate your award. A lot of people want to know how much money they're going to get. So I can get you pretty close to that number by looking at that chapter in the book.
Joseph said, love you guys. Thanks for the help. We love
Very
you guys
welcome.
too. And again, those of you that are in the Salt Lake area, please come by tomorrow night. We're looking forward to meeting everyone. We have a handful of people that is coming out. And the more people we get, the more we can harass Joe and tell him to push and find a doctor.
That's right.
So that's it for tonight. If you need to rewatch this, go back, rewatch it. All our videos are saved. A lot of our doctors' offices are playing all of our videos during your therapy time. So if you do see that, we've been getting pictures of people posting them to us. You're welcome to post it on our chats. Again, third-party issues, message me, or any private issues you don't want to discuss here live, go ahead and message us. One of the girls will reach out to you tomorrow. And then all the COVID issues that we discussed, I will repost it on how to file it. Just follow the steps and you'll be okay. And don't forget, you can't file CA7s on any claim unless it's accepted. But
start documenting right away. So I have something I'm going to say real quick that's all the way off topic. To Tammy Newman, who's watching tonight, Tammy, let Scott know that next week when I get back, or I guess week and a half, 2 weeks when I get back, I am scheduled to meet with the neurosurgeon I told you about. Dr. Lee in Pinellas Park is all in, 100%. Dr. Andrew Kammerer, is going to be helping out as well, and we're going to be meeting with that neurosurgeon to strategize and getting that claim accepted. And anyways, I don't want to go any further than that because that's private and personal. But Tammy, you're on, and the rest of you should know that's what we do. We never quit. I'm just going to keep finding ways to help.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tammy, let Scott know that to hang in there.
all right, everyone, thank you so much. This was fun coming live from Salt Lake. So we're going to wrap things up. I'll go ahead and sit here for a few minutes after and post everything I said I was going to post. And then Chris
Hold her
and
to
I,
it. If she says she's going to do something, make her do it.
Chris and
God
I
knows
are
I
going
can't
to
make
be
her.
heading out to enjoy the rest of the night, considering it's only, what time
It's
is
early
it?
here.
7 o'clock here. So
Yeah.
we're going to go finish up our day. But thank you guys for all hopping on. Don't forget to click the follow button. We're about less than 160 people away from 10,000 followers. So those of
Just
you that are
do me
new,
a favor.
click the follow button.
Get her to 10,000. So, but then I have to hear about 15. All right? So just make it happen. Hit the follow button. All right, everyone, it was really nice having you tonight. Thanks for being with us on our vacation on Wednesday Night Chats.
Yes, thank you everybody on Instagram as well. Share the video.
No, we'll still be doing this next week as well.
Yes.
We'll still be in this room next week on Wednesday.
You'll see us. We're going to do Q&A next week, so bring your questions.
Any topic, doesn't matter.
Stump Chris.
It's not going to happen. I'm pulling for you, though.
So we'll see you guys next week with Q&A.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Everybody, good night.
Maybe good night.